I received an inspiring call from my daughter today. When I arrived, my daughter, all of 18, started out in a little Solomon Schechter day school in Long Island, and now next year she's going to Montreal to the Chaim Mushka Seminary for the Rabbi. And I start to think about this little girl, like we think about our children, you know, where she's come from, where she's gone. And I think about what happened. I lived in Suffolk County, Long Island. I don't know if you know Long Island. There's Nassau County and there's Suffolk County. Nassau County is like Jerusalem. Suffolk County is like Kentucky. I'm glad you're laughing. It didn't go over well when I told that joke in Kentucky. So the Jewish day school closed. The Solomon Schechter school closed, and we felt terrible. What are we going to do with her now? She's going to have to go into the public school. She's going to go into the public school. Ugh, what am I going to do? It's the first day of public school. I'm all nervous. What's going to happen in the big bad public school? So I don't even trust the buses. I go pick her up myself. First day of school, she's a little pishkala, gets in the back seat, and I asked her the question that every Jewish parent asks their children when they want to know what's going on in their life. I said, no. And she said, there were 3 Christians in my class. I said, what? She said, there were 3 Christians in my class. I said, who told you that? The teacher. The teacher told you the 3? Yeah. The teacher told you or the whole class? The teacher told the whole class. The teacher stood up in front of the room and said, the 3? Yeah. I said, did the teacher say how many Muslims or Hindus or Jews are in the class? No. Thinking, this has got to be anti-Semitic or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm going to call up the teacher. I'm going to call up the principal. I'm going to call up the superintendent of schools. I'm calling Abe Foxman at the ADL. I have his phone number in my phone. Well, I'm all getting spilkes and everything. My daughter says, I don't know what you're getting so upset about. Teacher said there are 3 boys in the class who all have the same name, Christian. Now, the reason I tell you this, yeah, it's funny, but the reason I tell you this is because tonight the word anti-Semitism may come up. And I just want to start out by saying, Jews, not everything is anti-Semitic. Sometimes it's just 3 boys in the class named Christian, that's it, Fartik, don't get all upset about it. Not anti-Semitism, right? A Jew could be wearing a yarmulke, driving 100 miles an hour down the Long Island Expressway in New York, and the police pull him over. Maybe it was the 100 miles an hour, not the yarmulke. I'm just saying, don't get all... I did fight it, I was in court for 2 weeks, but they didn't fight it. All right. We have any Australians or South Africans tonight? We have one? We have? Okay, I'll try to speak. So, no, I just came back from Australia, and I don't know if it translates well here, but every Australian had to tell me a joke. So instead of telling you 200 jokes from Australia, I'll tell you the one joke I found of interest. An American walks off the curb, he looks the wrong way, gets hit by a car, he goes to the hospital, he's in a cast, he's in traction, he's sitting there lying there, he can't move, he finally opens his eyes up a little, he realizes what happened to him, he looks up at the Australian nurse and he says, did I come here to die? And she says, oh no, you came here, yes, to die. The only problem in Australia, they don't get it. Yes, to die, I don't get it. So why am I running around the world talking? It's because I talk about hashgacha pratis, I talk about divine providence, I talk about the fact that God isn't just in charge of the entire world and in charge of Israel, the United States, or wherever it is. God is involved in the very minutiae details of each and every one of our lives. How could that possibly be? Well, if you ever used Google, every one of you is involved in Google with all the details. Google can handle it. And God, with Al Gore, invented Google. So God can do it also. So each of us has a story like I have. Each of us has a hashgacha pratis, a divine providence story. Mine was May 2010. 3 years ago, I sat in my office at home, looking at my computer screen. And it's a funny thing about computer screens. If you ever turn off Facebook for just a minute, you'll be staring at your face in the reflection. Wow. Look at your face once in a while. See who you are. And I was staring at my face. I've been going through changes, different transitions in my life, trying to figure out what I want to do with the rest of my life. I had done a number of things. I was a conservative rabbi for 20 years. I'm now a recovering conservative rabbi. I go to the meetings. Hi, I'm David Nesenoff. Hello, David. It's a whole process. Anyway, it's not 12 steps. It's 250 steps. But anyway, I have to tell you my problem. So I was a filmmaker, I was a publisher, and I'm sitting there trying to figure out what to do. And whenever I go to college campuses, and I've been all over the world college campuses, it's very interesting, and I know the Dean of Students knows this. The students are walking around going, what do I want to do for the rest of my life? What do I want to do? What do I want to major? What do I want to do? What do I do? I never have the heart to tell them that 30 years from now they're going to be walking around, what do I want to do? Well, I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. I have no. So I was sitting there trying to figure out what do I want to do with my life. And Israel was on my mind. I had just returned from Israel. There was a simcha there. I think it was my daughter's bat mitzvah a few years earlier. And I felt so bad. Everybody's always beating up Israel. They're always condemning her and beating her up and saying bad things. My poor Israel. What can I do to help my poor Israel? Because I was a filmmaker and a rabbi. I'm going to go ahead and do something brilliant, absolutely brilliant for Israel. And by the way, I say brilliant in the American term, not the Australian term. In Australia, they use the word brilliant very differently, right? Right? They look at a rock and they go, isn't that brilliant? It's absolutely brilliant. Look at the rock. It's brilliant. Right? Then they turn to me. You're brilliant. You just said the rock was brilliant. I don't understand. I have to stop going to those countries. So I said, I want to do something brilliant for Israel. I'm going to make video snippets. I'm going to go up to Jews and I'm going to say, any comments on Israel? And they're going to say, oh, the falafel is delicious. Oh, the kotel, the Western Wall is so beautiful. Oh, Masada is spectacular. Oh, it's so spiritual. The archaeology is fascinating. And I'm going to take all these different video snippets for the answers of any comments on Israel. And I'm going to put them online. And I'm going to push that button, you know, the one on the keyboard that says viral. Who's going to push it? That's going to go viral. And everyone's going to watch it and save Israel. That was my idea. That's what I was going to do the rest of my life. My wife came in my office at home. And she said, this is the plan? This is what we're going with. Is there a health insurance? Is there a pension? Is there any salary to speak of? This is what you're doing. So while we were having that conversation, my son was up in his bedroom. And he was a teenager. And he's up in his bedroom, and what's he doing? He had just come back from the AIPAC convention, the American Israel Political Action Committee convention. He went there, streamed it live. Tony Blair, Netanyahu, Obama streamed it live. The only one to stream it live, this little kid. Comes back, took a train, came back. So he's up in his room now feeling pretty good about himself, so he called the White House. Got an answering machine. He said, hi, it's Adam Nesenoff. I'd like to come next Hanukkah in 8 months, and I'd like to stream live the Hanukkah menorah lighting. Can you get back to me, please? So they call him back. Hi, Adam, we're a little confused. Do you mean you want to come next year, Hanukkah, 8 months from now, to stream live the Hanukkah menorah light? Or do you mean you want to come next week for Jewish Heritage Day at the White House? So Adam says, next week for Jewish Heritage Day at the White House. And as the parents here, there comes a time in our life when we're very proud of our children when they learn how to lie correctly. 3 press passes to the White House. One for my son, who had a website called schmoozpoint.com. It was schmoozing with Jewish teenagers and rabbis. I had a website called rabbilive.com, which is now famous. At the time, I was streaming live prayer services to American Jewish soldiers in Afghanistan, Iraq, and on aircraft carriers, and some very lazy Jews in Boynton Beach. And the 3rd press pass went to a friend of my son's who's a 6-foot-tall teenager with red hair who should not be allowed in public places at any time. So the 3 of us went down to the White House and we had brought our equipment, we had press passes, we're going to film. I thought this is a good place that I'll ask my question. Any comments on Israel? There's going to be Sandy Koufax there, it's going to be Alan Weingarten, all these Jews, Alan Wolpe, all these famous, Harold Kushner, all these famous Jews. I'll ask any comments on Israel and start my whole new life. So I go, by the way, kidding aside, it was not such a great time also. It was a little spiritually depressed, financially depressed, emotionally depressed. It was a little tough time. I even wondered, why am I going down there? But, you know, I said, this is what I'm going to do. I'll go with them. So we went down there. We showed our whatever. I still wasn't convinced we were going to get into the White House because my teenage son said he got us a pass. So we got in. We got in. We got into the gate. We're in there with all our equipment. Even his friend. We got in. And then the first place you go is into the briefing room. We always see the president with the insignia here and everything. So we took pictures, we were good, you know, next to it, all the things. Then the first thing I did was the most important thing. I had to call everybody I knew and be a macha. Oh yeah, I'm in the White House today. Yeah, I'll be here all day. Yeah, I can't make it to that meeting. There's no meeting? Well, I'm in the White House all day. I just can't get away.